Hey everybody, MPG13 here, developer of FlashBack. I've been getting reports from users that they're having trouble figuring out how to use the program, so I decided I would make this video to help you fully understand the ins and outs of how to use the program. For those of you unaware, FlashBack is a script I've developed that makes it very easy to switch between different iOS setups from the terminal. So that includes changing wallpaper, tweak preferences, icon layouts, and it does it all with a quick couple commands. There are a couple ways to start FlashBack. You can log in as root and then use the _flashback, capital F, capital B command. This is just basically the actual script. You can see I'm not logged into root right now. The current user is mobile. FlashBack can be used without logging in as root. That is a new feature as of version 1.7. It relies on Crux by Creature Survive, and all you do is type FB or flashback without the underscore, and it will start after you confirm that you want to create the directory. It will start with this screen. So we can go ahead and enter the README, get some basic information. A couple things to note. When inputting backup names, use plain text and numbers only. Things like periods and backslashes can affect the way that the folder layout is arranged, and that can really kind of screw with how FlashBack will restore your setup. Second thing to note, it will sit in the background and consume battery if you don't kill it on your own. As you can see down here, to save battery, FlashBack has stopped itself. The only reason it's able to do that is because I have it open right now. If I go over here to the iPhone and I type FB, enter FlashBack, it will do the same thing where after a period of inactivity, it will stop the program. However, if it is closed out of the app switcher before it quits itself, then it cannot properly stop and it will consume battery. However, there is a way to fix this. We can go ahead and start FB again. So FlashBack is running. Let's go ahead and kill that. We will relaunch the terminal. So now FlashBack is running in the background improperly, and it can cause heating up, battery issues. And if you do find yourself in that situation, just type capital F, capital B, capital B-A-T-T, capital F-I-X. That will kill the bash environment that is running FlashBack. Another thing, FlashBack, you can navigate back and forth. So if I go into option 2, and then I decide I don't want to restore, I want to back up, I just type back, it'll take me back here, and I can proceed with option 1. If I decide I don't want to do anything at all, I can just wait, or I can type quit, which will kill the program altogether. So you can kill it properly from any menu as well. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to start with option 1. Let's name this current setup. You can see over here, this is kind of what it looks like. Let's name it backup 1. Now that we have this, actually, I'm going to go ahead and quit FlashBack. We're going to open over here. I can show you what this kind of looks like. So your backups are saved as regular folders in library/flashback/backups. You can see backup 1 is saved here. Preferences, these are just your tweak preferences. As you can see, I don't have a lot on this phone. I have just kind of set this up as an example. Springboard folder just includes the wallpaper, wallpaper information, and the icon state. And V2 just means that it is compatible with this version of FlashBack. Now that we see we have this backup right here, I'm going to go ahead and cut the video, rearrange my setup, and I will be right back with a different setup so I can show you what it looks like switching from one to the other quickly. So as you can see here on the left, I've changed the setup quite a bit. I got rid of the widget between the dock and the regular icons. I got rid of the status bar. I've changed the theme. I've emptied the folder that was where the YouTube icon is right now. There are no folders. I've changed the tweak preferences. I've changed the icon layout. I've changed the widgets. I can lock the device right now, show you I've changed the I guess I didn't demonstrate this earlier. I changed the lock screen as well, which we can compare in just a moment when I switch back. But for now, let's go ahead and start FlashBack again. And we're going to go ahead and use the second option to restore the setup so that we can see, or I guess we'll use the first option. We'll name this one dark. So now we have the two setups that we can switch between. We have, if we go to option 2, we have dark and backup 1. We're going to restore to backup 1. We would not like to make an auto backup since we just made a backup, but normally I would recommend that you do. Okay, you can see now that I have changed back to the original setup. On the left here where my device is, I have my original wallpaper. I have the lock screen with a little bit more information. On the home screen, I've got the Mojito theme enabled. I have the widget at the bottom between the dock and the icons. I have these icons back in a folder, and you can just kind of see that the setup has been reverted. Okay, so now that we're back in FlashBack, I will go ahead and demonstrate option 3, which is just deleting a backup. We're going to delete the dark backup. It wants confirmation. We are going to type FlashBack. It is deleting dark. Hit enter to continue. We can use option 4 to delete auto backups. That just gets rid of backups that were automatically generated since they have longer kind of wacky names. We don't need to do that since we didn't make one, so we'll just use back to go back to the menu. Option 5 is kind of a big one. I'll go ahead and go through that. We do want this directory to be created. We are going to back up the one titled backup 1 since it's the only option. Enter username. I will just use mpg13. Short description. Demo flashback setup. So this is kind of long. Basically, it's just saying that if you use automatic mode, you get to choose which packages are installed with the deb file. And we are going to use that for the sake of demonstration. We're going to type yes because we do want to use automatic mode. That basically just tells FlashBack that we want to use, we want to automatically specify which packages will be installed with the setup if you install it as a deb. Okay, so I've gone ahead and listed all of the bundle identifiers for the packages that I want installed with this setup. I'm going to hit enter, and right now it's just going to compile the deb. So it might take a moment, but it's basically just listing these as dependencies in the control file. And as you can see here, it has created the deb. The file can be found in var mobile documents flashback debs and then com.mpg13.backup1.deb. So that's really all there is to that. It's pretty simple. You can use this list up here to figure out what packages you have installed. I can go ahead and move on to the next option, which is option 6. This one's real simple. It's really only for past users of FlashBack. Option 6 is just a way of marking old backups as compatible with the recent version of FlashBack. So as I showed you earlier, I made a deb file out of the setup I had created. It is here in user, which is the same thing as var mobile, documents, FlashBack deb, and as you can see, it's right here, backup1.deb. So we are going to download this to the computer, and part of why I gave the option of backing up to deb is so that you can share your setups with other people in the community, which is what this is for. This is the FlashBack setup submission form. I'm going to go ahead and copy this, open it in a different browser. Forgive me, I'm going to use Microsoft Edge. So users will be able to share their setups with other users by filling out this form and sending in their information on their setup to be hosted on the FlashBack repo where you will install FlashBack from as well. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it out. So you can see you need to put in your email address. Mine is this right here, publicly available. I don't mind that you all know it. The name of this setup, as I showed you, was Backup 1. This was designed on iOS 11. That means compatibility will be most likely on iOS 11. Username will appear as mpg13 in Cydia. Email, this is to confirm email or the best email to reach you at. The Google form will also be listing you as a certain email. This is basically just you logging into the developer portal with Google, which was the easiest way I figured would be. So Reddit or Twitter username, I'll type Reddit and Twitter. You can kind of format this however you want. It's not going to be handled by a bot. I'm going to be managing this. So Twitter is not mpg13. Short description of the setup. Demo setup for FlashBack. And then if you want to go ahead and type more, does the setup automatically install required tweaks? Yes, it does. I don't have any screenshots at the moment. I'm not going to bother with that. Please list all required free packages. You don't need to list the bundle identifiers. You just need to list, basically you would just list all the free packages. This does not use any paid packages for the demonstration. None. Repos needed. It does require repos. It does require my personal repo, which is mpg13.github.io/repo. Right here would be for other content not available on Cydia. This would be widgets that you might have to download from someone's Dropbox or Google Drive. You just list it here and give the URL, preferably separate it so that I can read it. This is not an update to a previous package, and to do that you just add a file and then you can just, oh, apparently you can't drag it over. Okay, that's fine. You just upload the deb file and then I will be able to put it up for you. So hopefully I was able to provide you with a decent demonstration on how to use FlashBack so that you and others may enjoy it in the future. Please do look into submitting your setups. I have seen a lot of great setups on the iOS themes subreddit, and I would love for other people to be able to share those accessibly. Like I said, the Google form does make you log in with an email, which is pretty much just a rudimentary way of authorizing who you are, since I don't really have the time, resources, or experience to develop a full-on developer portal. So thank you for using FlashBack, and I hope you enjoy.